Okay, hey, I'm Nagleria, and this is the first in a series of videos I want to make regarding F-Zero GX. It's a really crazy racing game, and there's quite a few tricks in it, and I'd like to explain them so other players wanting to get into the game can have an idea of what's going on. All the things I'm going to explain are from this page, from F-Zero Central, the Advanced Techniques/Tactics page. I'll link it in the description. And the first of these techniques I want to go over, I'm going to skip a few of these, but the most notable one I want to go over first is momentum throttling. I'll be referring to momentum throttling as MT, by the way. All you have to do to MT is let go of the A button. The rate of speed loss with the engine off is somewhat linear. When you are far above the top speed of a vehicle, the rate of speed loss with the engine on is actually much higher. So I'm gonna bring up Dolphin here. Second state. Okay, right here. So this is like the I have a save state that's saved right here. I'll load it, and right now you can see on the where player 1 is up on the top left, it shows the inputs. So here's without pressing A. I'll just advance this forward. And at this, let's go to this red line. Alright, I have 1,178 kilometers an hour. Now I'll load that same state, hold A, and when I get to the red line, I have 1,080 kilometers an hour. So I have much less speed now, and that's the idea behind MT, is that when you're far above the top speed, you want to save speed just like that by letting go of A. It's pretty non-intuitive. It's based on how the engine off speed loss is kind of stupid, but it makes the game really interesting. So I made a graph. I'll also put this in the description. I managed to precisely illustrate the effects of MT. I just advanced frames in Dolphin and recorded the speeds at a bunch of different places. The black line here is the engine off line, the MT line. This is the rate of speed loss with the engine off. And these 4 lines are turning the engine on at different points. And in each case, it follows a similar pattern, and it always drops really fast, and it ends up approaching the top speed, which for Fat Shark is 1,109 kilometers an hour. And though the speed loss the speed loss for the MT line, this black line, it is quite linear, but it's not exactly linear. There is a bit of a curve to it, but it's not that significant, luckily. And another thing to note is that the MT line, the rate of speed loss with the engine off, is different for each vehicle. For example, Twin Narita loses 2.63 kilometers an hour every frame, whereas Sonic Phantom would lose 2.2 kilometers an hour every frame. And that would equate to about 158 kilometers every second and 133 kilometers every second, respectively. There's some very weird effects of MT, some which are kind of weird. I'll explain those later. Right now, the general idea is that when you're far above the top speed, like right here, it's in the 2,000 range, you don't want to be holding A unless you're boosting. So the point at which you want to start holding A again is what I call the MT point. And this is also different for each vehicle. Let's see, let's hold this up. Alright, good. I took these 15 vehicles based on if they had a similar weight or top speed to try to single out variables. And I manually measured their MT slope and also their MT point. It's basically, I would just sort of integrate the lines and compare them to the engine offline to find the point where you want to turn the engine on. So I'll link this in the description as well. And from those 15 points, I made a formula to find the MT point of a vehicle based on top speed and weight. And it's not. So there are some other factors that I do know affect MT, like acceleration. But luckily, the formula I made here, it's like, what was it? Standard deviation of 15 kilometers an hour for the vehicles that I measured with. So it's not too bad. I also have a second formula I made, which you have to do a measurement for it, but it has a standard deviation of 9.7 kilometers an hour if you want to find a little more precision for a choice vehicle. So when you're using a certain vehicle, you want to be taking very careful note of your speed, looking at the speedometer, and it can be kind of really takes a getting used to be looking at the speedometer a lot while racing around, but it really will pay off. Just keep in mind that you still want to hold A when boosting or diving down in the air. And when I say hold A while boosting, that includes shift boosts, mine boosts, boost plates, any sort of boost. You want to be holding A during the boost duration. And once you start emptying, not even super optimally, just when you're far above the top speed, you will shave several seconds off your times. For mine boost specifically, I have another, yeah, right here. So this is right before on a Mobius ring for a mine here. I'm gonna hold A, and I'll keep holding it just because there's another mine right here. And now if I just keep holding it, my speed is at 1460-ish, and it's gonna go down really fast. So it kind of takes a getting used to when you're in real time. You basically want to hit the mine and let go very shortly after. So now I'm at a little higher speed, and it's going to be going down with the engine off. So the timing for mine boost is very, very short. Right after hitting the mine, you want to let go of A, but you do want to be holding A when you hit it. And that's something that kind of takes a bit of practice for if you're going really fast beforehand, you want to sort of just tap A shortly. And I have, oh yeah, and this is another instance where you want to empty that is very unintuitive. When you're going up very steep slopes, I'll hold A and go through this here. When you're going up very steep slopes, you want to have the engine off, because if you look at its speed right now, it's going to crank down all the way to 932 kilometers an hour. But if I leave the engine off, and then turn it on right after, it'll only go down to 957 there. This isn't as significant of a thing to MT, but it will matter a little. On Aero Dive, there's another very, very sharp slope like that. It's only for super small radius curves like this. You have to worry about it. If it's really large, there's no point. It won't really have a significant enough of an effect. And there's a few more quirks to MT and when you want to do it, but most of the quirks are related to other tricks in the game, so I'll just explain them there because a lot of them merit their own video. So that's pretty much it to describe momentum throttling. So now I'll end this video by playing CGN's record of Dragon Slopes. And he has input display here, so just really pay attention to when he's pressing A and when he isn't. He's doing some tricks here, and he's really effectively using MT there. You don't really. I'll explain MTS in a later video. But as he's diving down, he's holding A. You want to hold A as you dive down. And I'll have a separate video on dives and jump plates and stuff, just because it is kind of significant. So he used a lot of crazy tricks to go really, really fast, and the faster you go, the more significant momentum throttling will be. And like he was like over 2,000 kilometers there, so if you look, there's like large chunks of time where he's not holding A at all, just because it will slow you down, as the Fat Shark speed loss graph depicted. I think once he lands from the right here, he's going to do shift boosts to go really fast, and now he's not going to be doing any. He doesn't even have like the engine on for like several seconds there. It's really weird, like just getting used to like MT and looking at the speedometer. I suggest you just go on like a Cosmo terminal where there's like a lot of boosts, or just even on any level it can be really effective. So just boost around and keep an eye out on your speedometer, and just try to really get used to looking at the speedometer, because it will help you out a lot. So he's pressing A while boosting, while diving, and other than that, he will not be pressing A unless it's unless he's like significantly below the top speed. So try that shit out. You don't expect to be able to get a 147 or anywhere close to that, because that's a really solid time. But momentum throttling is certainly a helpful trick that you should practice. And that's it for this video. See ya.